You guys, welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? It's been a difficult week for Interisti. Of course, we had the high of reaching the Europa League final, but then big low of the loss, the 3-2 loss against Sevilla in the final. It took me a day yesterday to just kind of wallow in that, sadness from after the defeat. Obviously, it affected most of us. I hope it didn't affect you guys too much, because at the end of the day, it was a good season, the best season we've had in the last 10 years. Second in the league, Europa League final, most goals scored in our history, the least losses in the league, lots of positives, a great style of play, big signings like Romelu Lukaku. But then, Antonio Conte, once again, just as he did after the loss against Atalanta, he's put the club back into chaos. We just can't escape chaos in this club. It's like it's part of the fabric of being an Interista. You just have to adapt to the chaos. You have to make it your own. You just gotta say, what Bain used to say. I was born in it, molded by it as an Interista. Chaos is just part of us. So I want to kind of clarify, because I think there's a lot of confusion into exactly what is going on with the Antonio Conte situation. So from Antonio Conte's side of the story, a few months ago there was there was an envelope with a bullet inside, and apparently it was a death threat sent to Antonio Conte that reached the Inter's training center, which Antonio Conte did not want to leak or want his family to find out about, his wife and his daughters and everyone. Of course, it's a very serious matter. He's receiving a death threat like that. So he didn't want his family or anyone else to, find out that he'd received this. But as we know, we've had this issue with leaks coming out to the press for a long time, and that news leaked out anyway. So Antonio Conte has not been impressed by the Inter's board or anyone since that thing. He specifically asked for it not to be leaked, and he's been angry at the board since then. So as he said himself, it's not really about the transfer market or certain players that he wants or something like that. He seems like it's something outside of football that is concerning him. And I've got the quotes here right after the match where he talked to Sky Sports, and he was saying, first of all, I want to clarify in this sports situation, which I read in many newspapers, it bothered me of the notion that Stephen and I don't have a good relationship, or that the father of the president was angry. None of this came from me. Maybe it was someone was interested in creating certain news to create problems. I just have to thank the Zhang family for the opportunity, because this experience was worth it, no matter what happens. You see there, he's already talking in terms of no matter what happens in the future. He's already talking, it's almost as he is leaving. And again, moving on, Italy is my home. Regardless of everything, I could never regret being back, because it was worth it. I had an incredible experience in this club, and I thank the real Inter fans in all of this, and also the Curva for always supporting me. It was not easy as a sporting enemy, so I can't say I regretted it. I had an important experience in a club that has made history like Juventus and AC Milan. Again, you see there, he's talking almost as if he's already leaving the club. And the reports are saying, and Antonio Conte himself has said that he has to meet with the board of directors or the president himself to clarify things, whether he's going to continue or not. So it seems like it's not even in Inter's hands anymore. It's basically Conte taking a couple of days to reflect, because apparently the meeting with Steven Zhang is going to be on Tuesday in Milan, and there Antonio Conte is going to either resign or say he's going to continue. So Tuesday is a big deadline, big day for this whole situation to get resolved, and it's just a big shame, really, isn't it? Because as I said, this has been the best season in the last 10 years for me. I love that this team has finally had some playing style. I love, I wanted Conte before he came, and I still like him. Every coach has their own weaknesses, and obviously Conte's is this downright stubbornness and unwillingness to, make subs early or read the match properly. But the way he lives football, he can't take a loss. He's just so obsessed with winning, and this year not being able to win anything is killing him. This is the first season in a very long time that he's not won anything. That winning mentality, man, you can't buy that anywhere. But at the same time, his constant outbursts in the media, this guy is unhinged. I think he needs a therapist or something. This guy is completely on the edge every time. He's so emotional. Even in the final, he got wound up with Ever Banega in like the 20th minute or something. That was when he was having the argument where Ever Banega was making fun of his wig. Shouts out to Ever Banega, that was so funny. But you can't get that nervous in the final. That translates to the players as well. When they see that the coach is so nervous, you could see our players were so nervous. Every little foul, niggly foul, they were constantly shouting, complaining, and it's like the wrong nervous energy. So, if he is really that unhappy, or is something that he really, feels like he can't commit 100% to Inter, then he should leave. That's for the best for everyone. And in terms of who's lined up to replace him, the favourite is Massimiliano Allegri, Sir Max Allegri, former Juventus coach once again, former AC Milan coach, Scudetto winner with both teams, took Juventus to the final twice. So, one of the elite Italian coaches. Much more of a pragmatic character compared to Antonio Conte, not just in terms of tactics, but in terms of his manner of speaking. He's much more of a politically correct guy. He knows how to handle the media a bit better. He's not as emotional as Antonio Conte. And apparently he's been notified, according to Gianluca Rossi. I don't know how reliable he is, but we would be fools not to have someone ready to go, because the season starts in less than a month. So we have to have a coach ready to go as soon as possible if Conte does quit on Tuesday. So Allegri has been alerted by Inter officials, and apparently he is ready. He is willing to take over. He likes the squad, and that makes me happy because I like Max Allegri. I think he did a great job at Juve. He did a good job at Milan, even though they already had a team. He's a guy, he's not really known for building teams, unlike Conte, Allegri, and especially the last couple of jobs. He's come into pretty much ready-made teams, and he's just taken them to the next level. He took over the chaos that Antonio Conte left last time, so he's used to taking over the leftover chaos from Antonio Conte. He's a great man manager. He's pragmatic. He adapts his tactics to the team, so he doesn't have a specific system. With Conte, it was either three at the back or death. Allegri has shown that at Juve he played with three at the back after Conte left, because he knew that it takes some time, and in some matches he kept switching back and forth between 3 and 4, 4-3-1-2 he played at Juve, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. So he's a very adaptable character. He's not like Conte, where we know even if the apocalypse will come, we will still be playing 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2. Initially I thought this was never going to happen, honestly. I thought Conte's salary is way too high for him to leave money on the table. He's got a deal, which means his wages rise every year in the contract. So I think he's only 11 million net the first year, then 12, and then 13 maybe in the final year. So if he leaves, he's leaving a lot of money on the table. And the Inter can't fire him. We're still paying Spalletti's wages to make wine out in Tuscany. So, he's got 40 something million it would cost us to get rid of him, to fire him. So that's not an option. Conte leaving money on the table. So that's what I mean. If he's willing to leave money on the table, it must be something quite major that he's, affected him, personal issue or something along those lines. Of course, I don't think he'll leave. He will just leave on a free if he resigns. I'm sure there will be some sort of mutual agreement, mutual settlement where Inter will pay him some sort of money to let him go. On the other hand, Allegri, his wages are much lower than Conte. He was on he was almost on half the money that Conte is on right now at Juve, so he probably will ask for a little raise. From what I've read, he'll probably ask for around 6 or 7 million net, which is a lot lower than Conte, and kind of rising with bonuses and everything, but still, so you'll save some money there if it does happen. On the other hand, Pochettino and the other names that have been touted, Pochettino, he earned around 12 million at Spurs, and he probably want a raise again, and he doesn't speak Italian, so he'll have to quickly learn and try to adapt. So he's not the ideal candidate for me. I think Allegri is definitely the favourite. Mihajlovic has also been mentioned as a possible candidate if Allegri doesn't happen. He played for Inter. He was part of the coaching staff when Roberto Mancini was at Inter. He's experienced, but again, he wasn't very good at AC Milan. He's shown that a bigger club, it kind of didn't work out, and he's been okay at Bologna as well. What he brings. He's similar to Conte in terms of he's a sergeant, but I'm not very excited by that possible appointment. So I'm all in on the Allegri train, but I would like Antonio Conte to stay if he is willing to fully commit himself to Inter. But if he's not, there's no point keeping a coach that is not fully committed. And with Conte, we know he has to be. We know how he is. He has to be fully committed to something. You can't have a half-hearted Conte, because then you're paying the wrong guy. So let's look forward to Tuesday. Let's hope this situation is resolved. Looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm hoping Conte stays. The project is so good. Where this first year has been great. The results have been so good. there's a platform there now for him to build on, a couple of more additions onto the team, and we're ready to challenge. Juve are also in turmoil. Pirlo is coming in for Juve. This is the best time to, challenge and beat Juve to the Scudetto, a European final after such a long time. We're almost there. We just need that extra step. So it would be gutting if Conte leaves now. But as I said, Allegri is the perfect man to take over. But I would like your opinions on the matter. What do you guys want to happen? Do you want to keep Conte? Is that your preferred option? Do you want Allegri? Do you want Pochettino? Do you want someone else? Let me know in the comments below. What is, your ideal situation in the whole of this? What do you make it all of it? Do you agree with me that you think there's a personal situation with Conte? Or do you think he is just being a moany ass and he just wants more money in the transfer market? But yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I hope this video shed some light on what's going on at Inter. And I'll see you for the next one, which hopefully will be my season review for the whole Inter season of 2019-20. Ciao.